You ever sit at a bar with your friends and realize that the older you get, the less you actually understand about people? Someone asks a simple question. When do women feel the most alive, the most attracted, the most connected? And suddenly, everyone's got a theory, but no one's got the truth. I used to think attraction was simple. Looks, timing, chemistry. But over the years, and a divorce later, I learned that attraction isn't a formula. It's a language. And most men are still trying to speak it like they did when they were 22. 1. How we get it wrong. From the time we're teenagers, the world trains us to chase the surface. Beauty, novelty, validation. Movies tell us that youth equals desire, that getting the girl is the goal, not understanding her. So we grow up, fluent in performance, and completely illiterate in connection. Then life happens. We marry. We build careers. We lose touch with ourselves, and with the person beside us. And somewhere along the line, attraction becomes confusion. What changed? She did. You did. Life did. But most of us never upgraded our operating system. We're still running the old software of ego, fear, and assumption. 2. What attraction really is. Attraction isn't a lightning bolt. It's recognition. It's one person's energy saying, I see you. I feel safe with you. For women, and for men, if we're honest, real attraction begins when the nervous system relaxes. It's not fireworks, it's resonance. The body responds to authenticity, the way a compass finds north. That's why superficial tricks never last. Charm fades, looks fade, but emotional safety and confidence, those deepen with time. When a woman senses calm leadership in a man, not dominance, not ego, but composure, her body interprets that as security, and security is the foundation of attraction. 3. The male evolution. When I was in my 30s, newly divorced, I thought I knew women. I didn't. I knew how to chase, how to impress, how to perform, but I didn't know how to listen. Then I started noticing something. The women who drew me in weren't the ones competing for attention. They were grounded, self-aware, comfortable in their own silence, and their presence forced me to grow into mine. That's the shift that maturity brings for both sexes. Attraction moves from excitement to depth, from novelty to understanding, from chemistry to connection. 4. The psychology of maturity. Behavioral psychology calls it self-actualization. The point where people stop chasing approval and start living from alignment. When that happens, energy changes. The posture relaxes. The voice lowers. The conversation slows down. That's what you feel when you meet someone who's lived enough to stop pretending. They radiate ease, not need, and that ease is intoxicating. A young man impresses by speaking. A mature man impresses by listening. A young man wants to be chosen. A mature man chooses. That difference, intention, instead of impulse, is what magnetizes people to you. 5. Why culture misleads. Us society sells us the wrong map. It tells women their value is youth and men their value is dominance. Both are lies. When we reduce attraction to appearance, we lose the art of intimacy. Intimacy means intimacy. It's not about performance, it's about being seen. The reason many relationships fall apart isn't lack of love, it's lack of curiosity. We stop learning each other. We assume we already know. An assumption kills connection faster than betrayal ever could. 6. The real cycle of desire. Human desire moves in seasons. In our 20s, we chase discovery. In our 30s, survival. In our 40s and 50s, meaning. That's why attraction deepens with age when it's handled well. Life experience strips away pretense. You start wanting honesty more than admiration, depth more than distraction. A woman who has lived, raised kids, built a life, learned her worth, approaches attraction from self-knowledge, not insecurity. And a man who has matured learns that his strength isn't in control, it's in stability. When those two meet, sparks happen, not the teenage kind, but the kind that lasts. 7. Emotional intelligence, the new masculine edge. Most men were never taught emotional literacy. We know how to fix, not how to feel. But emotion is data, not drama. A man who can stay calm under tension, who can express without collapsing, who can read energy instead of reacting to it, that man carries quiet authority. That's what people, especially women, respond to. Emotional intelligence doesn't make you soft. It makes you sharp. It's the difference between reacting to pressure and commanding it. 8. The role of self-respect. Everything you communicate, tone, posture, eye contact, comes from one source: how you feel about yourself. If you respect yourself, you don't need to demand respect. You project it. When a man enters a room with self-respect, he changes the temperature. He doesn't have to prove power. He is power. Calm, grounded, measured. That energy gives everyone else permission to relax, to open up, to connect. And that's when attraction, conversation, and trust begin. 9. Modern masculinity. Redefined masculinity. Today isn't about dominance, it's about direction. It's not about being louder, it's about being clearer. True strength is emotional containment, the ability to hold tension without exploding or escaping it. When a man can do that, he becomes a safe space in a chaotic world. And safety, paradoxically, is what creates the most passion. So if you want to stand out in modern relationships, stop trying to impress. Start embodying calm. That's the new alpha. Grounded confidence that doesn't need validation. 10. Attraction as growth. Here's what maturity teaches you. Attraction isn't something you get. It's something you build. Every genuine relationship mirrors your internal state. If you're anxious, you'll attract chaos. If you're grounded, you'll attract peace. If you're alive, you'll attract life. The real question isn't, when do women want it most? It's, when are you the kind of man who brings out the best in her? Because female energy, like male purpose, responds to environment, and you are that environment. 11. The personal story. I remember meeting someone a few years after my divorce. She was strong, self-aware, unfiltered. Our connection forced me to confront every insecurity I'd ignored. She didn't need me to save her. She needed me to show up. That relationship didn't last forever, but it taught me something permanent. Mature attraction is mutual evolution. It's two people growing side by side instead of one person chasing the other's approval. 12. The social lesson. We live in a culture obsessed with beginnings and terrified of depth. We glorify youth, but the truth is, youth is loud because it's uncertain. Depth is quiet because it's sure. If we started celebrating depth the way we celebrate novelty, we'd have healthier marriages, stronger friendships, better leadership. Because attraction, real attraction, isn't entertainment. It's energy exchange between two people who respect themselves enough to meet honestly. 13. The modern man's playbook. So what can men do? 1. Develop awareness. Observe before acting. Confidence without observation is arrogance. 2. Learn regulation. Your calm is contagious. Practice breathing, posture, stillness. 3. Cultivate curiosity. Ask better questions. People fall for those who make them feel understood. 4. Respect boundaries. Power without respect becomes control, and control kills connection. 5. Grow purpose. When your life has direction, your relationships align naturally. That's the playbook that never goes out of style. 14. The truth about timing. There's no when women want it most. There's only when both people feel most alive. For many women, that happens later, when they've shed insecurities, when they've learned their worth. For men, it happens when we stop chasing validation and start owning our presence. That's when two whole people meet, instead of two halves looking to complete each other. 15. The closing. So if you take one thing from this talk, let it be this. Attraction isn't a mystery to solve. It's a mirror to read. When you evolve, your relationships evolve. When you respect yourself, respect finds you. And when you learn to be still, the right people gravitate toward that stillness. Stop asking, when do women want it most? Start asking, when do I show up as my best self? Because that's when connection happens. And connection, gentlemen, is what we've been chasing all along.